Hello guys, and welcome back to Supreme Ruler 2030 with our Israel playthrough. We've been getting off the ground here, getting some things building, trying to befriend America so that we can get all their delicious research to open up new unit type options for us. Money is doing well. We've paid off a third of our total debt because why not? The money can go somewhere productive, and if that means knocking another, at this point, 4 million off of our 1 billion daily budget, I mean, might as well, right? We could pay off another one right now if I wanted to, but I won't, because I'm gonna do something to keep our economy going up. We just got it on a positive spin by the end of the first episode, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna place these ore mines, just 3 ore mines. It's all the ore mines we can build in this country total. There's no coal. There's no other natural resources that we have that I haven't exploited at this point except for some agriculture, and I'm still tempted to go ahead and build those in places that are convenient. Supply over here, despite being in a desert, is actually still pretty good. Not to mention Tel Aviv over here is at 85% supply, and when I finish building an air base there, it's going to be at 100% supply literally all the time, spreading supply like wildfire, and even that will probably reach down here, because I imagine it will override this one just fine. Hell, imagine if I just got rid of this airfield and replaced it with an air base, but... oh, Jesus Christ, what happens to supply right here? Just completely dies. That's weird. But even then, I just caught my AI making an old interceptor that is not even on my list of things that I can make because of how old it is, so I'm gonna cancel those, exclude that, and maybe keep a better eye on what it's doing. We're just exclusively pumping out naval engineers with our 1 naval fab. We haven't even started making land units yet. My final Merkava is building, and at this point I could actually turn on the production of other units just fine and start monitoring that. This whole time, I think we started in July, we haven't made a single new unit, just upgrades. I've sold plenty of old units, but we got a bunch of outdated ones upgraded, and now we'll probably turn this on and we'll get building some new stuff, maybe some new Mark 4Ms. I am gonna, wait, hold on, this is why I didn't do this. Because I am gonna need to motorcycle recon. Are you fucking kidding me? I remember what I was waiting for, and what I was waiting for was for all the Mark 4s to finish so I could upgrade all of the Mark 4s into being Mark 4Ms, which are like another 7 or 8 years ahead of this one. Alright, so I've gotten all of the Mark 4 Merkavas, now upgrading to Mark 4M Merkavas, and I wish they didn't fucking auto-deploy as a default when they finish. Like, if I'm just upgrading, why the fuck would I want them to auto-deploy? Why? They're already in the reserves. For what reason would I want them to auto-deploy? If I wanted them on the field, they could just be deployed after with like 1 button press. Undoing this means I have to click every fucking thing that is upgrading. And when you're upgrading hundreds of units at once, it's just not even worth it. Then you have to just let them deploy and then amass costs and then put them all away. This is a little rant. This is a stupid fucking decision, and I want to fist fight whoever made it. A lot of the buildings I'm placing are starting to finish. We're getting more timber, and hell, look at that. With just a couple of things placed, which is actually everything that we can place for timber, we are now making enough to export. So this is not only fueling our economy, it's going to be fueling some money, which is not really what I didn't expect it to be so high. Oil, we went from making none to almost making everything that we use, and we're making it for less money. We're certainly not an exporter by any means, but we can now help sustain, even with our stockpile there. And we could do it for less money, and all that money goes into our economy. Inflation's up to 3%, so this initiative's working really, really well to give us a nice, healthy economy. And I may have sent our first naval engineer off the coast of Italy here, and Croatia, to give us our first ever oceanic complex, which will eventually get some oil extraction of its own. However, we are talking oil derricks, which it's the same output as a gas field, but for like way more annual maintenance and way more input costs. So right now I'm more just claiming the locations, but I will maybe add to them later. I hope to actually just exploit stuff that's on land first. Although I don't really know who we could go for first that would have on land stuff, except for like maybe Jordan. Lebanon would be easy to conquer, but they don't have anything, do they? At least they don't have any resources that I know about. Uranium? No. Ore? No. Coal? No. Oil? No. Timber? Sure. I guess that counts. Agriculture? Yeah, just timber and agriculture. The basics that everybody has. For anything special, we have to look at like Jordan. Jordan's pretty weak. I assume Syria, yeah, is a good bit stronger than Jordan. Whenever we do finally go for one. Jordan would probably be easier. However, Syria has a lot more oil. Although, Jordan has metal ore and that does export. They also have some uranium. Ooh, okay. When it comes to preparing for war, we're gonna need to make sure our military goods production is not interruptible. Right now we have 1 full-size military goods factory and 5 mids. So roughly 1.5, but not exactly efficient. So I'm gonna aim to make the price per production more efficient, while also increasing the amount that we produce overall by making another full-size military goods factory right here at Netanya, next to Tel Aviv, where our other one is. And in return, in exchange here, we're going to scrap every single mids factory, freeing up room to build other things in our small country, making what we spend on military goods more efficient, while increasing our production of it overall, you know, in like 80 days once this new factory finishes. Production is going to be a little reduced. As you can see, we lost like 1.5 times, or like from our total that we just had, like 25% of our total production. But it's going to double from this current value. So we're going to take what we already had and effectively add what we just lost again. Math is hard. And so, more efficient, yes. Yay. America finally has full government bars with me. They're liking me more and more the longer I support them. In addition, I've now just been going to them to purchase indie goods because we're not making enough. But the market price is so fucking cheap compared to what we make that I don't want to really increase production. And we keep getting offered deals for it. But rather than do any of that, I just go to them, I give them like a bill, and then they give me 100,000 indie goods. And then that's pretty much all there is to it. We use it in all of our building projects. I don't think we're exporting any of it, yeah. It never really gets exported. It's a much better deal than what everyone else is offering me. I mean, just look at this. Norway wants to sell me. They're actually wanting more money from me than the indie goods are even worth. So, no, they're just trying to rip me off. Not because they're a higher GDP country. Everyone has different prices here based on what your production cost is. This does not go by market price. Some people are offering me deals that are pretty decent, like, most of them are down here, though. If I could find one. Like, 3, yeah, oh, that's metal ore. God damn it, where are all the good ones? I've been rejecting them, so maybe they stopped offering stuff like that. But so, there were some good ones that I accepted. However, nothing beats just being able to go to America, go to indie goods, put like 100,000 in there, and then just only pay a bill, not even paying half of my production cost in order to get them. I could resell that for a profit if I really wanted to. We finally got in the MRLs. We got it before we even started pumping out any of these SP guns right here. You can see the difference here. It moves faster, but it can't go as far without refueling. It can shoot further in every regard and does more damage in every regard except for when shooting into close attack areas. Its defensive values are not quite as good, and it does require some more military goods. It has a little bit less initiative as well, but it's a little bit better in terms of anti-air, like coverage, like attack value for itself. But for what it really exists to do, and that's to just hit targets at as far of a distance as possible, we see the actual enhanced values here, 90 versus 84. It's going to come in at a more long-term cost-efficient price for performance of a unit that shouldn't even be up close to begin with. I will, I think, leave both of these because they're very similar. I'm going to leave both of these here, see what the AI does when we do turn on the building, but I'm going to guess it's going to build the MRLs, and if it does, I'm going to end up excluding the SP guns. If I never say anything about this again, assume that is what's happening. Also, haha, look at this, 6,551 units in queue. This is a bug from Supreme Ruler Ultimate. Supreme Ruler Ultimate had this bug. It's still in Supreme Ruler 2030. Isn't that incredible? Oh wow, it's been a while since I've looked at this, but the Houthis are completely destroying the Yemenis? The Yemens? I don't know, but they totally lost, man. Houthis completely took them over. This would be so much more interesting if this game simulated like religions and ideologies and whatnot. Kind of like GPS does, but it doesn't, unfortunately. But yeah, the Houthis are just absolutely winning this ball game. I wonder what the stats on that are. Maybe slow the game down while I'm looking at statistics. We go over here, we go sort by losses. No colonies, please. And we can see here, the Houthis have killed 96, lost 32. That's such a small scale war. And they're just killing it. The Russia, Ukraine, Belarus stuff really hasn't changed. Belarus is just like cannon fodder that doesn't accomplish anything. The Ukrainians have been making progress, it looks like. Yeah, they're still in a... Actually, it's pretty stagnant. No, never mind. It's a bitter battle over the south and the east, just like in real life, huh? Although I think this is a little bit better looking than real life. But this northern push is still just there. I think both sides are maybe just like running out of units to throw at each other, so it just comes down to production. And if that's how it goes for the rest of forever... Ooh, they're building new aircraft production. Interesting. Then Russia would win that, unless AI are somehow scripted to be sending stuff to Ukraine, which I don't think they are. I think Ukraine is doing this like all by themselves with just a high initial unit stockpile. I have enough money to go ahead and pay off some more debt. I already just paid off December's off screen, by the way, so this month we're not paying any interest. So let's just go to January, repurchase those bonds, and voila, we will now not be paying anything in January. I think I'll just keep up with it until we end up having no debt. Again, not a big reason to do that because the amount of interest is so small, but it's something that I can do to improve myself right now while I'm mostly just waiting for things to build and waiting to try to get access to certain technologies from America before we actually go on our first warmongering spree. Also, it's time to set up a new oceanic complex, and I see a good spot right here. Yeah, I'm just filling it in here because I figure this is a pretty safe place. I'm never going to be at war with anybody right here. And anybody I go to war with won't have a big navy to really come at me over there, so might as well. Every one of these that we claim become Israeli in nature. Damn, that produces a lot of supply for the fucking hex. Wow. There's 1, 2, 3 more of these up there, and once those are done, we'll start probably looking over here to these 3. And then I might be able to get in here for these 2. And there's like a couple over here. And then the Spanish ones. I'm just going to stay in this region for now before I go out elsewhere. Because there's a lot of unclaimed oil out there. And the AI is probably not coded to even try to claim it. So it could definitely help us stay self-sufficient in oil. Maybe not profitable in the long run if we end up needing to. But self-sufficient, which is just as important as military goods when your army needs oil just to move. You know, this is why, for example, in real life, North Korea doesn't just have a bunch of mechanized tanks, motorized things. They're all foot infantry because they don't have really good access to oil. They can't fuel mechanized motorized brigades, and I want to make sure that I can. We have also now finished all of our upgrades here for the Merkavas and everything. Everything's upgraded that can be upgraded. So we're going to go ahead and turn on some auto production. Finally, getting some land units actually building. We do also have the LCS2 Independence, by the way. But I'm not in any big rush to have a navy. Navies are expensive. Not as expensive as air forces, amazingly. But navies are expensive, and I don't care to get this building yet. I want just the naval engineers for economic purposes. And then when I feel like having an actual navy, then I will go out of my way to make some navy. Oh, the Houthis got one. The Houthis got the Democratic Republic of Yemen, and Yemen itself is just this little blue desert with literally nothing owned inside of it. So I think that won't be too long till that's dead. I don't even know how they're alive. Oh, this is how they're alive, because they own this. Yeah, you know, I don't know if the Houthis are ever really gonna get this. There's not even a good landing place. Or a way to set sea from. Yeah. Huh. Well, the Houthis are gonna basically de facto take over all of Yemen. They've already done it. Just these couple islands and maybe a hint of desert that will probably get taken eventually. Just not the islands. May continue to exist. It's January and our money just keeps going up. And as like our economy keeps growing, the amount of money that's normal for us to have keeps going up, which is making these bonds seem even less significant just due to the minuscule size of them. But we have gotten rid of February's bond now, so that's good. Keep building that up. I haven't been paying too much attention to that. Oh yeah, I haven't even really been looking. What are you guys making? Of course you guys are finding ways to pump out APCs that are M113s. Of course you are. That are infantry too. Yep, no, we can't have that. Get rid of those. Exclude. Spider ADATs. That makes sense anyway. We only pumped out like one though, so I'll just probably sell it. Infantry. I assume we only got one. It's not even on this list. It's not even. There's a couple things that aren't on the list actually. There's more than just this. There's like 3 special forces that we can't sell for whatever reason. I'll probably scrap them in that case. Just kind of get the military goods back. Don't know why they're not on the list for selling or buying. Oh, actually what I read wasn't even them building an LAV. I just caught that, the M113, by surprise. What they built was a multi-role fighter. I've had them building stuff like that the whole time. And yeah, they're doing well there. Just so happened to catch that at the same time. They're building a supply truck, but I just unlocked my new supply truck, which can go much farther, can go faster, can carry almost the same amount of supply, and it has better defensive values. So we can get rid of this old design, cancel this one, and just have them making the new stuff only. He's building the Lynxes, which I'm not surprised about. It's newer, and for what it's for, it's better. It may need a couple more shots to really hurt things that are in close areas, but it can shoot farther, like barely. But it's also way more cost efficient over time due to the annual maintenance there. Hey guys, we're on the main menu. That is because my game crashed. I learned that I could just make the game crash basically whenever I want. Oh wait, no, this isn't even where I want to go. This is the normal save. We need an autosave. Otherwise, we're going to lose a lot of progress. Yeah, if you're ever looking at missile designs, which I was, and thankfully it seems to have autosave just before I crashed it, never hit this fucking button ever. Ever. Because it will automatically, instantaneously, you know what, let's prove it. Gonna hit the button, and, nothing's happening on this. Oh, and there you go, game crashed. Yeah, never hit that button. But yeah, I figured I would start optimizing my missiles a bit. So I'm just getting every missile, literally every single missile that is Israel specific, because I've noticed those are all, for all designs, way more cost efficient to everything that we do. And I'm going to start looking through missiles that we have that are not Israel efficient, finding if there are any. Like the Gabriel 2 here. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. Got some replacements for you coming in. Gabriel 1, we're going to get rid of that. Got some replacements for you coming in. And we're going to just let that be. Only Israel-specific designs because they're very cost-efficient for our situation and the balancing of the game. That very small amount of metal ore that I built, it was enough to take care of our entire demand and then a lot more, and turn us into an exporter for the slimmest of margins ever, making $1 profit on every piece of metal ore that we export. That's absolutely incredible. We also got that supply hub done, so like things are getting better supplied in this region. I'm still very tempted to turn this into more of a supply hub, even if that literally just means, because we have boosted infrastructure spending right now, because the infrastructure spending is high enough with research. So I'm very tempted to say, go to this facility, get rid of this. I don't want to destroy it, I just want to scrap it. Where's the button for that now? Man, they really took away everything from every fucking menu that they had in the prior game and then just put it in its own special menu. And it's so fucking weird. If you play Supreme World Ultimate, you come here and you want to do stuff, you have to completely relearn the UI or fumble around endlessly like I've been doing. And we'll put an air base over here as well. For a mixture of #1 supply and a mixture of, well, you know what? Look at where we are. This could use not only supply, but also an airbase would be pretty cool in general, just to support more planes in this limited region. Definitely could come in handy. I was never really a fan of airfields. I'm more a fan of just having air bases in general, because they fit more, they do more. Airfields are just like a low-cost equivalent that doesn't allow you to store things, doesn't hold as much. It's like smaller aircraft carriers that you need more of to accomplish the same thing. Oh yeah, that's right, and I just noticed what month it is, and it's February 31st. What? It's February 31st. This game is a February 31st? Battle Goat, that's not how February works, not even on leap years. So, okay. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm gonna pay off another bond because, you know, we have the money. Why not? Let's pay off this next bond before it really becomes a thing. God, there's a lot of hotkeys you can accidentally press. There you go. We got 4 bonds remaining, meaning we've now paid off 2/3 of our bonds. My expenses are going up because, as you can see, I'm actually starting to support more governments because I'm essentially going to try to get Israel into NATO. And what that means in Supreme Ruler is I have to go and make an individual alliance with every single member of NATO because apparently making a group system doesn't make as much sense as this. I'm gonna do this for a multitude of reasons. Number one, I mean, why the fuck not? It's the strongest power block in the world, and a lot of it's right next to me. The one at the head that I'm trying to befriend anyway, who I'm not quite there yet, that has the best tech in the world. You know, I'm trying to get research cooperation with them, if possible. Still not quite there, but you know, I know who their friends are. Let's show diplomatic relations. I know who their friends are. And turns out it's most of the world, including China. Okay, what? That's not how that works. Anyway, but this is a lot of their friends. Clearly, they're nice and allied, so I figure I befriend them, I get alliances or just friendly relations with a lot of them. It'll boost up with each other. I get all these alliances that will come to my aid and protect me. I've already seen Supreme Ruler 2030 AI knows how to come to the aid of another country and protect them, so get under that NATO umbrella. Wow, what the fuck? They don't like Albania, Bulgaria, Serbia, Romania. Wait, why? There's some NATO countries here that are not liked for some reason. Some of which I was actually working on, like Albania. Well, let's maybe cut Albania out a little bit and just focus on the ones that America likes while I try to specifically get America's technology. I'll just keep adding to this and we'll see what we can make happen. Oh my god, my AI made a fucking cavalry unit. He made a cavalry unit. This motherfucker just said, I'm making cavalry because I see no other choice. And we need this. Fuck, that's the wrong button. All the buttons are different, man. All the buttons are different. Do I scrap it? I'm just gonna scrap it. Who wants to buy cavalry? Not that it matters. The world market will still just buy it anyway. And get that fucking cavalry out. We don't need cavalry. It's fine. I'm gonna keep getting rid of a lot of these really old units here, including some of this old arty that I don't need and don't want, slowly over time. And just to, you know, get some quicker money to pay off the rest of the debt. So we're gonna sell that stuff right there. As well as to get our army more modernized and unified, and that's really what I want to see, is either units that we are actively producing or the ones that we were just producing, because clearly they will have some value as well. So actually, I just discovered a very interesting change from Supreme Ruler Ultimate. When I add more countries into being supported, like I've been trying to do, it doesn't just increase the cost, for whatever reason. Like, see this right here, I don't know why this is showing this amount, and then this is showing a completely different amount. I'll take these off though, because every single country that I support, it shows this number. That number just so happens to be my amount of funding. In SRU, when you supported multiple countries, you were just paying different costs on top of each other based on the size of the country that you were trying to gain favor with. In this one, that cost stays the same no matter what. So I can only assume that it's actually spread out, and that the more countries you add to it, the less efficient it becomes unless you add more to the funding, and even then you're only limited to the cost of funding too. Or I don't know if it just duplicates and you could just support everybody you want. I'm gonna hope it's the first one, and because the second one would just be broken. But that is new. Yeah, that is definitely new. It's more based on your size than the size of what you're supporting, which is very strange of a change indeed, but I seem to have just spotted it. Speaking of new features, region reformed. Houthi movement is now Yemen. Yemen. But there's also Yemen. What is region reformation and how does that work? That's new. So what, if you just like, I don't know, take over a loyalty, which they already had, you just take its name? I think that might be like an AI exclusive thing because the player can already just change their fucking name if they want. It's not like the region didn't exist. Because it always existed because right here, Yemen. You know? So what's this then? Loyalty Yemen. Loyalty Yemen. But these are different Yemens. With the same flag. What does this symbol mean? I don't know. Clearly this is very much a PRC ROC situation where the legitimate government's now living on an island and then the new one takes their name. But still, what the hell does that even mean? It shows them almost like they're a nation in exile. But they're not in exile because they're over here. They still exist. I'm very curious how this works because, again, I've never seen this before. This is clearly new to SR 2030. So, let's see. I'm going to get rid of the one cons mid we have because it's really not doing anything. And cons take so much to produce compared to what it costs, you know? So, I'd rather just buy it. Our economy's doing great at 4.3%. I've got a collection of naval engineers here to send out after some oil spots, so we're definitely going to send one up here. That's for sure. We're definitely going to send one up here, and then that area will be done. We have 3 more remaining. 1, 2, 3. Looks like to me that we know exactly where we'll send it. Right off the coast of Tunisia. Or Tunis? Whatever they call themselves these days. There you go. So those are getting into position. I've been doing diplomatic deals out the ass, man. Getting friendship treaties with a lot of Europe, mostly NATO, but a lot of not NATO countries too, to try to get the world a little happier about me. Free trade does have an effect globally, as minuscule as it is, not as much as formal alliance has. I'm just kind of setting the stage to have people like me a little bit better. Gonna set these up, and then I'm gonna go really fucking crazy into diplomacy fully until I finally get America to give me their tech. And then we'll look at getting into NATO, quote unquote, getting into NATO. This game's bastardized version of NATO anyway. But that's a nice full episode we have today. Our money's doing great. I paid off the rest of my debt. That's another thing. We have no more debt. Our money's doing great, even with support. So I'm quite happy about that. I'll do a bunch of off-screen diplomacy work, and then we'll resume here on the next episode when I have a little more details. But for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.